I'm going to tell you exactly how to develop an insane memory, and this method's probably going to sound weird to most people, but I'm being so serious. You will only need to see information once and it will never leave your brain. So I've used this method during my bachelor's in biochemistry, master's in chemistry, and now I'm doing my PhD in chemistry. I'm presenting my research in Japan, so I'm even using this method to learn Japanese. And it works very well for language learning. There's a region in your brain called the hippocampus, which is involved with memory formation, but is also involved with navigating physical space. So if you really want to optimize your memory, you connect new information to locations. You are spatially embedding this information. So the base of this method is using a memory palace. You can either couple information to a location that you're familiar with. What I typically do is I'll use a specific location, but then I'll come up with a lot of the actual scene in my head. And typically these scenes are very surrealistic because you want to try to use as much sensory information, textures, really random objects that like you're just not going to forget that you placed them there. Say you're trying to learn a new language, what you do is you take that word and you break it down into things that you're more familiar with and you create objects out of it. We're trying to link familiar things to unfamiliar concepts, so you create this medium-term memory. So you want to think short-term, the new information that you're learning, plus long-term, pre-existing information that's already in your brain equals medium-term. So you can store that information so that you can retrieve it from your brain. If you don't practice active recall or revisit this memory palace, the medium-term memory isn't going to be transferred into your long-term memory. So once you encode information into your memory palace, then you can just run through your memory palace throughout the day. So you don't need to see that information again. You can review it while you're walking, while you're sitting on the bus, while you're eating, whatever you're doing. You can run through that information just by looking through your memory palace and get so much spaced repetition. And that is really how you're going to transfer that information from your medium-term memory into your long-term memory. And I'll make other videos about how to increase your recall speed and how to make shortcuts. But the really nice thing about being able to spatially navigate through information is that you can look around and go directly to that information instead of sequentially encoding information. Like you can think of the alphabet song where you kind of have to say the previous letters in order to unlock the next letters. With the spatial organization, you don't have to have a sequence. Use this method correctly, you can memorize anything and you can learn things extremely fast. There is a difference between memory and learning, so I will go over that in another video, but hopefully this helps.